What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on my channel. Today we are talking the 2018 fixture. I'm going to go through some key points from what we've discovered from our fixture for next year. I'm going to analyse it, probably not in depth, but we're going to go through some pros and cons, and we'll rate the fixture at the end to see what the difficulty is and other aspects of it as well. So let's get straight into the analysis of our 2018 AFL fixture. So basically this whole video will be mainly pros and cons of what is good and what is bad about our fixture, and then we'll go through some of the key points right at the end of the video. So hopefully it's only a brief, short video, but we'll get some points across and you guys can go home fairly happy. Also, before we continue on, I want to know your thoughts of our fixture next year. Please let me know in the comments below what you're happy with, what you don't like, and the game you're looking forward to the most next year. I will get to my game a little bit later, but yeah, comment below to let me know what you think. Right, let's start with the pros for the 2018 fixture for Port Adelaide. For me, I think one of the positives is starting off at home. But what is the biggest surprise for next year is finishing the season, the home and away season, at home as well. As we know, we got the last home game for last year in the home and away part of the year. So usually you'd think the Crows would get it, but we somehow pulled that out of the hat. I don't know whether that is something to do with us playing 3 games in a row during the year, or something happened with the Crows fixture. It's all muddled up. It is a strange fixture for sure, and yeah, it's surprising, but we'll definitely take it. Obviously, the first one is against Fremantle on the Saturday afternoon to start off the year, and the last one is an unknown, but it will be Adelaide Oval for round 23. Another pro that came out of the fixture for us is the majority of the games are Saturday arvo, twilight to Saturday night. Mainly, all of them are, basically. Only one Sunday twilight. Now, I know a few people play footy on a Saturday and a few people play footy on the Sunday. Majority, obviously, kids on the Sunday and people like me who are Saturday afternoon, early to afternoon, so they can't make that Saturday twilight time slot. So that may or may not affect crowds, but according to KT, our most popular time slot is that Saturday twilight 4 or 5 slot, which I think is quite good, because then you've got the early part of the day to do whatever you need, and then you can go to the footy, and then you can head off to any engagements that you've got afterwards, or if you're young, head to town and get absolutely, you know what. But I think that's more of a positive than a negative. A lot of people will think otherwise and think the fixture's rubbish. That's probably personally for them, and we're all entitled to having that personal opinion. But I think the majority will think it's a good one to have that Sunday free. And retail workers, we can work in the day and then head off to the footy. So I think it's a positive. Another one for me that I stated in what we want for the fixture in an earlier video is playing in Melbourne. Our crowds are quite strong in Melbourne when we travel, and I think with this one we play 5 games in total in Victoria, 2 at the MCG, which will be against Carlton and Collingwood in the latter stages of the year, Collingwood being in round 22 I'm pretty sure, and Carlton in round 15. Both day games obviously. 2 games at Etihad, one against Essendon in round 4, that is a Sunday early game. And then we play on the Saturday in round 6 against North Melbourne. So 2 games at Etihad earlier in the year, 2 games at the MCG later in the year. And obviously we have, on a Sunday afternoon, I think it's around 16, 17, 18, somewhere around there, we play the Bulldogs in Ballarat. It could be a bit later, but it's a 3:20 time slot, or 2:50 South Australian time in Ballarat, which is going to be huge, which we obviously last year were very successful at. And then this year, next year, we'll get the chance to play there again in the broadcasting of Channel 7. So it will go nationwide coverage, which is something we're trying to knuckle down to get more time of. The next one that is a pro for us, I think, is definitely playing 3 weeks at home in that middle stage of the year, just after the bye. So our bye is obviously in round 10. Then we play the Hawks in round 11 in Tasmania. And then we have a Friday night a Thursday night and a Friday night against Richmond, the Western Bulldogs, and Melbourne, which is great. I mean, they're all over the bye periods for the rest of the other teams, but the thing is, we get 3 games that are broadcasted nationally. People will be watching because this team will either not be playing, or it's Friday night footy and Adelaide Oval, a big crowd against a good quality opposition for those 3 weeks in a row. It's going to be massive for our club, and hopefully that giant June specialty of those 3 games will definitely pull the crowds. And I think a lot of people will be happy because that national stage and that prime time slot for Port is something we're trying to build upon and get more of, especially when it comes down to form and how well we play on the field. We can only do so much off the field, and when it comes down to it, on the field makes the difference. So that will be huge. My favourite time of the year, Anzac round, is another pro. We get it at home on a Saturday night in round 5. Then we got, obviously, China and the first Showdown. The first Showdown is our home game, which is another surprise because usually they switch it over. So Port will get 2 and the Crows will get 2. That will spread across 2 years, of course, but they've changed it up this year. Port get the first one at home, so it'd be nice to get a first Showdown win in 5 Showdowns. The China game, as we know, is huge. That is round 9 at Adelaide Arena in Jungling Stadium, so that'll be another big one. And then obviously we have the bye in round 10. To sum up all those rounds from round 1 to round 23, we only have, I think, about 4 6-day breaks, which is another big pro for us. I think having those 8-day, we've got a lot of 8-day breaks, which is surprising, playing that Saturday, Sunday switch over each round. But that's going to be crucial, especially with our earlier bye, and a lot of our 8-7-day breaks come later on in the year. So the AFL has helped us out with that, with having those breaks and helping us out. So overall, it's a pretty positive fixture, I think, from all those pros, and I'm just really happy that we've got more primetime slots on a Friday and a Thursday night, even though it's in the bye period, which is a little like, oh yeah, you can have it. We got no one else. Why not shove Port in there? We'll take it and we'll prove we're good enough to be on the national stage. Let's move on to the cons. I said this was going to be a shortest video. I don't think so. I've got too much to say, but these are the cons that I really pulled from the fixture. I think the major one is going to be that fact that we got the earlier bye, but that also comes with the positive, playing in China, playing in front of a different country. The only negative with that China game as well that I'm going to put on the con list now is the fact that it's not broadcasted nationwide in Australia. It's only going to be in Foxtel and then broadcasted on Channel 7 in South Australia and in Queensland, which is a little disappointing considering last year's first one was broadcasted live across Channel 7 across Australia. So obviously they didn't get the audiences they wanted, or Foxtel wanted more of the pie in terms of China. So that will be interesting. Maybe it's got something to do with the networks. Who knows? But either way, we get we us Port fans get to watch us in China if we're not going, and obviously the Gold Coast fans as well. So still a positive either way. The other con I wanted to bring up was the fact that we only play one Saturday night game, and that's against Geelong in Anzac round. The rest are all mainly twilight games. That's home and away too, which is a little disappointing. They've kind of thrown us the old dead end games at the end of the round. But we've got some good teams playing in those twilight time slots, so it'll be interesting to see how that affects us. Only 2 Friday nights. I put that as a con because I thought maybe we'd get a couple more. If you look at Carlton, who got 4, and Port only get 2, and they get them in the bye rounds, I mean, that's, I think, a little like, well, Carlton need the help because they're, well, deplorable when it comes to on-field, and I thought Port deserved a little bit more. But we get the Thursday night time slot anyway, so it kind of balances out. Less primetime matches come with that too. It's mainly a spin from the Saturday night time slots that we haven't got. We've only got the one, as I said before, which disappointed me a little bit because I like going to Saturday nights. You know, the atmosphere, it's a night game, it feels electric, and we get more chances of getting that 50,000 strong crowd. And The other negative I wanted to bring up was only 5 free-to-air games in 2018. They include the Anzac round match, the 3 games across the bye periods, which is round 12, 13, 14 against Richmond, the Western Bulldogs, and Melbourne, and also the Ballarat game. 5 out of 22 games are only free-to-air. Considering we made finals, considering our crowds were very strong, well, not very strong, but strong enough to be considered for more free-to-air matches, we've got snubbed again, and that disappoints me a little bit. And, you know, I don't know about you, but I like listening to Bruce's voice. You know, he's special. But yeah, they're the cons. There's not a lot for me, personally. Let me know what your cons are. What do you dislike about the fixture in the comments below. The next thing we're moving on to is the most exciting game I'm looking forward to next year. Now, a lot of you may know this if you've seen previous videos that I've stated that Anzac round is my favourite round of the year. It's more than just the game, it's the whole service, it's the Australian National Anthem, the last post, everything to do with Anzac Day is just, for me, special. I just love the atmosphere. I know we'll get a big crowd, and against Geelong, which is one of the powerhouse teams, we'll put on a good show in front of the national stage, which is fantastic. And that's the game I'm most excited for next year. I just love Anzac round. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we win. And get 50,000 there too. God, we need a 50,000 crowd. We haven't had one for a year. Ridiculous. Oh, besides the Showdown. I'm mumbling. Anyway, move on to the next one. Alright, now it's time for rating the fixture. We're going to go through a few different points. We're going to go through 4 things. We're going to go playing twice, travel, time slots, and difficulty. Rate them out of 10. Besides playing twice, I'll just let you know who we're playing. So, playing twice for 2018 is Adelaide, West Coast, Western Bulldogs, Essendon, and Fremantle. The most interesting part is we play in Perth twice, Ballarat for the Bulldogs, Etihad, and obviously the Showdown is here in Adelaide. So I'm quite happy with those. I mean, they're more of a challenge, and it will prove where we're at, especially with beating teams like the Bulldogs and Essendon, who I think personally are around the mark of us. If we can knock off West Coast as well and get a couple of wins in Perth, that is major for us. Against Perth Stadium, we can bless it with, you know, baptise it for Port Adelaide. 2 from 2. Let's hope so. Out of 10 for travel. Well, where don't we play next year? That's the question. We play Adelaide Oval, the SCG, the MCG, Etihad Stadium, China, Perth, Tassie, Ballarat. If you look at the JLT series as well, we played Alberton, and we played Leederville Oval, which is in Perth as well. Out of 10 for travel, I rate it everywhere out of 10. That's all I can give it. Time slots, I think we all know what we get. It's Twilight out of 10, that's all I can say. That's what I'm rating it. It's a Twilight out of 10. Overall, the difficulty for the fixture, I'll give it about a 7. I think we've been given the harder draw this year. I think it's more based on the fact that we knocked off all the easy teams this year. We bet a couple of top 8 sides. I don't care what anyone says. We bet a couple of top 8 sides. West Coast and Sydney. Don't care. And the other main thing is, I think, looking at that fixture and looking how it goes, I'm thinking with our group of players, if we keep injury-free and we keep up good form with the new recruits of Watts, Rockcliffe, and Motlop, and whoever else we end up getting. 14 to 17 wins, I reckon. Got to make sure we win all of the Adelaide Oval games, though. We lacked that last year. If we could beat a couple more and kick straight, that's the other thing. I think we might be looking at a fairly good 2018. Well, Port fans, that is it. That is my fixture analysis for the 2018 fixture. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments below, as I said before, what you think of the fixture, your most exciting game, most excited you're looking for, which game that is, and your rating out of 10 for the fixture. I hope you enjoyed my ratings, because I don't know. It was fun. let's say the least. We move on now. We're deeper into the preseason now with the listed free agents. We've got the draft coming up, and then fully into training for the main group. So hopefully the boys get fit and firing, ready for a ripper 2018, because I'm very excited, because that's what we got to look forward to. An exciting fixture, plenty of home games, China, Anzac Round, 2 showdowns, and the last round in 2018. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe for more Port Adelaide content. I'll try and do my best to upload as many things as possible over the pre-season. I know everyone will start to drift away and start to lose interest a bit and just start to do their own thing across the summer period. But if you stay tuned and stay subscribed, I'll bring you as much content as possible. And if you have an idea for a video, let me know. I've got quite a few. Anyway, Porter's podcast is 8 PM Wednesday nights. We'll probably take a break next week. Probably do it in 2-week period. We'll probably try and end up finishing just before Christmas. We'll keep you updated across the draft and the delisted free agency period. So the Facebook page is in the link below. Social media, if you want to follow me there, or any of the content that I produce, it's all in the description below. Snapchat, send me a message on your thoughts. And yeah, that's basically it. My name's Anthony, and thank you very much for watching. Go the power!